Hey, what is up, Flavor family? It's Bobby, and on today's Basics, we're gonna make my blistered asparagus in insane sauce because spring is finally in the air, and these guys are popping up in the market, and they're actually affordable now. If you try to buy asparagus off season, they could be like $4 to $5 a pound, but I'm seeing them everywhere now, and I made them recently on Instagram stories, and they went nuts over there, so I thought I'd share it with you because, you know, when you drop asparagus into boiling water or you steam them, yeah, they're gonna cook, but it's not exciting. You're not really getting a ton of flavor on there. Putting these on the grill would be great, but if you're gonna cook them indoors in the kitchen, this is the way to do it because we put them in a super hot pan, get them nice and blistered, and then toss it in this crazy, delicious, insane sauce, which is why I call it insane, of mayo and lemon juice, throw some pecans and some garlic and some onions in there. It is gonna be your new go-to recipe for how to make asparagus. Before we do that, hook me up. Subscribe to my channel because every week now we're doing 3 videos. Me and Art are busting our butts. We're doing a live stream either on Wednesday or Thursday and 2 videos on the weekend. Live streams have been super fun lately. Just go to the community tab, see when it's gonna be that week, either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, and then push that little bell icon down below so you guys get a push or an email when I schedule a live stream. All right, this is asparagus. You can get it either thick like this or thin. I'm noticing like at Trader Joe's, they have the real thin ones, and these are the thicker ones, which I prefer because they're harder to overcook. They stay nice and meaty. Now, some people call me the asparagus whisperer because, Art, there is a tough side here that you really don't want to eat, and there's a tender, delicious side here. The way to know where that fine line is you just take it in your hand and break it. And this is usually the tough part that you really can't eat, but will have a really cool thing to do with this. And this is the tender one. So I'm gonna use that as a guide here, but I'm actually gonna go a little above that because I feel bad wasting that much. And if I just kinda cut an inch or so above that and then peel the rest, so instead of cutting here, I'll go maybe there. And then I'll take my peeler here and just peel that, because this, you guys, is really tough and woody. You gotta peel that away, otherwise you're gonna be chewing on there like a horse eating hay. We call Art the Finnish horse, so maybe that isn't a bad thing. So the cool thing is, a lot of times I would take these stumps here and I would throw them in the freezer and I would make veggie stock out of them or chicken broth with some veggies in there, and they would add great flavor. But I recently learned a technique for taking the stumps, peeling them super, super thin because you gotta get rid of that tough woody exterior, chopping them fine, and then adding them to this dish at the end raw. So stick with me until the end and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, asparagus is all peeled and prepped and clean. I have a non-stick pan preheating back here over medium-high heat. This happens fast and furious, which is what you want because you want the asparagus to get blistered on the outside but still have a little crunch inside. We don't want to make them soggy. So drizzle in about a tablespoon of avocado or any good high heat oil you want. Swirl that around the pan. And then I'm gonna add the asparagus, just over a pound. All right, and that, Art, brings us to trivia question number 1 of the day. Given the fact that I just told y'all I wanna blister these and make them nice and charred on the outside, do I wanna add my salt now or later? Pause the video and leave the comment down below. If you said later, that is correct, right? Think about it, right? Salt pulls out moisture. Moisture will make these guys swim in a pool of their own water and they're gonna boil instead of blister. So hold off until the end. And you know, once again, I feel like if you're gonna steam or boil them, have an ice bath on the side because when you pull them out of the hot water, they keep cooking and it's very easy to overcook them that way. This is gonna be your new go-to. And I did it this way on a live stream last week with green beans and my insane sauce. I'll put that recipe down below too. It's exactly the same technique, exactly the same recipe, and it is a money green bean recipe. But speaking of money, now let's make the insane sauce. I came up with the name because it is so darn tasty and it's really easy, and it starts with about 1/3 cup of avocado oil mayonnaise. Use my homemade avocado oil mayonnaise, obviously, from last week. I'll put that recipe down below. It uses a pasture-raised egg and avocado oil and just a couple ingredients. It's like half the price of the stuff at the grocery store and so much better. Let me just give this pan a shake here. All right, now to flavor the insane sauce, I'm gonna squeeze about the juice of half a lemon in here. Then I'm gonna shake in about a couple teaspoons of either low sodium soy sauce or tamari, half a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, half a teaspoon of sambal oelek chili paste or sriracha, and about 1 teaspoon of stone ground mustard. I like the stone ground because, see that, Art? It still has the mustard seeds in there, and it kind of adds a little texture. I love that. So to add that, then I'll add a pinch of salt, and then go back here, grab my pepper mill, and mix it up. You guys, look at that. That is insane sauce. Now, you might think like, yo, Bobby, that's going into Asian territory, right? That soy sauce, that sesame oil is gonna make it taste Asian, and it's not. It's my umami boosters. It's gonna give it that depth of flavor. Umami in Japanese literally means deliciousness, but it won't taste Asian. Ideally, you would use tamari soy sauce, which is gluten-free. That's a little more keto-friendly. If you wanna make it paleo and Whole30 approved, you would use a coconut aminos. I actually don't use those because they're not salty enough for me. They're a little too sweet. So you might have to adjust this recipe because you want this to be on the tangier, more like acidic bright side. And that's it. Let's see how our asparagus or asparagus are going. That's what you want to see, Art. See that? That's the beginning of the blisterization happening. Art, do we figure this out yet? The plural of asparagus is asparagus, or I'm guessing it's still asparagus, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Asparagus got to
yeah, I wish, in my mind, I wish it was asparagus. Oh, I just dropped one. Wish it was. I wish it was asparagus, but I'm pretty sure it's asparagus. All right, so guys, let's check on these in a few more minutes. Actually, you know what? Let's keep rolling here. I can't stop, won't stop. Let's take our stumps here, all right? Our stumps that most people would throw away, to be honest, or use for vegetable stock. We are gonna peel them right now, because look, Art, this is really, really tough stuff. If I bite into that right now, that is gonna be like leather, shoe leather in my teeth. But if I peel it down like this and get rid of all that stuff, this is magical. If I bite into this now, amazing. It is fresh, crispy, and has the most great flavor. So if I finally slice that, if I stop eating them, and add that to the dish at the very end, it's gonna add some crunch and a nice contrast of texture and temperature. Raw and blistered asparagus. Totally brilliant. So I'm just gonna, say again?
If you're not on Team Crunch, you're not in our bunch.
Well said, Art. Team Crunch is our motto around here. All right, you guys, it's been about 6 minutes, and that's what you wanna see. See how they're nice and blistered in spots, but they're still crunchy in the middle? That's what I want. So now is the time I take some onions and some garlic and add that to the pan, and then add a few tablespoons of chopped pecans and mix it up. So why did I wait until the end to add that? We had the heat over like medium-high-ish. If I added those garlic and those nuts and those onions earlier, they'd be toast. They would burn. And I'm literally gonna cook them for a minute just to get that rawness gone. Let's splash in a little bit of the low sodium soy, a little bit of toasted sesame oil, and then about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's what you want. That nice steam to help cook the asparagus through. Art, how good is that smell right now?
Really good.
You know what I kind of equate the smell to? It smells like a Benihana to me. Except our sauces aren't laden with sugar and MSG, but it kind of has that yummy, yummy soy flavor. And look at the color. This is what you want. I'm gonna cook this for like 30 seconds more, then we're done. All right, let's get these guys out. The nuts are perfectly toasted. The raw flavor is off of the garlic and the onions now. And heck, you could even just eat it like this. It's gonna be delicious. And I don't wanna toss it in that sauce yet because these are piping hot. And if I toss them in my insane sauce, the sauce is gonna break. So let's just keep this on the side for a minute. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna chop up these really lovely asparagus stalks and pieces here. Scoop those directly into the sauce here. And then I'll take the asparagus, dump it straight in the insane sauce. The smells coming off this, you guys, are beyond delicious right now. Then just toss it up. Look at that. It gets all nice and coated. You still want them to be hot so they're receptive to soaking up the sauce. But I mean, come on. If you think little Timmy or your hubby or your boo doesn't like asparagus, you serve it like this. And you guys, they're gonna be believers. Put them down just like that. Like, I would pay top dollar for that in a restaurant. That's just gorgeous, right? Look at that. Maybe just a little more pecans because I got them. You guys, come on. How easy was this recipe? Blistered asparagus with creamy insane sauce. And the smell coming off these guys right now are delish. Try this bad boy. Wow. What I love is that I get that smoky charred flavor on the outside, but it's still crispy. It's not soggy and overcooked like happens all the time when you boil it. And the sauce. Come on, you could lick this sauce off your finger and call it a day. But on top of that asparagus, with the crispy pecans and the garlic and the onions, this side dish is where it's at, you guys. All right, you guys, there it is. Art, cheers.
That's good.
Where it's at, right?
Good tang to it. Crunchy still.
If you think you don't like asparagus, you're gonna love this, right?
I love it.
Guys, the recipe is down below in the description box with the macros, storage, reheating, all that good stuff. Share this video. If you have someone in your life who you want to crush asparagus, this is the recipe for them. Art and I have 2 more videos going below us. Right now, we got a bunch of veggies to eat. And we'll see you soon. Until then, hashtag keep on cooking, mad love and peace.